Hi, I'm Paul with MadCap Software, and today I'm going to talk about teams in MadCap Central. Teams, that's something that, depending on what you're trying to do, it could just be an optional thing that you choose, or it might be something that is mandatory. Let's talk about reasons why you might want to create a team. And teams over here on the left, select that, and you can see I've got some in here already. So you might just choose to do this to organize groups of people into different teams. So, for example, here I have module 1 to module 3 team. And so they're just organizing these different people depending on things that they're working on. Or teams are a way to give people permissions. So maybe you just want a quick and easy way to give lots of people the same permissions. You could do that. There are other times when a team might be mandatory. You need to create it. So if you are inviting a viewer seat types, those types of users, their only purpose is to view your output, private output that you create. If you want to do that, you need to have a team, and the viewers need to be associated with that team. And in turn, that private site, the output, needs to be associated with that team. That's how it's all connected. That's how Central knows to allow these people to see that output. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on creating private sites. I have another video that you might want to check out if you want to learn all about that. And there's also a video on inviting users, and it talks about, inviting those user types and how if you're inviting viewers, you need to select a team. So you can check those videos out separately. And maybe the main reason why I like to have a team is for the private output, but also because my site is enabled with single sign-on, SSO. And that is a really, really powerful thing. So by doing that, my the users that I want to see my private output, they just enter their company credentials. In my case, it's MadCap Software. They go in, and all I need to do is provide them with the link to that private output, and they just log in. And I, by setting up my SSO on my central license, I'm able to create these viewer users on demand. They're just added, and they're added to the right team. So that is probably the main reason that I use Teams, is for that private output. And SSO, of course, I'm not going to go into that in detail either. I have a separate video on that you might want to check out. But those are probably the main reasons why you might want to create teams in MadCap Central. Now let's go ahead and create a brand new team. First thing, you got to make sure you have the right permissions. So you can come up and click on your name, go down to permissions. I have all the permissions, so I don't need to worry about it. But the one that you want to pay attention to here is this one, manage teams/projects. As long as you have that, you can create teams and you can edit them. So I'm going to click cancel, get out of that. Now on the Teams page, just click this button right here. It opens up the wizard, and this is really easy. So the first thing that I might want to do is select an avatar for my team. So I just click change and go in, choose your image. There it is. Give your team a name. I'll just call it my cool team. Could give it a description if I wanted. Maybe that helps if you've got lots of people on your license and they need a quick and easy way to differentiate one team from another. You can put it in there. Now click next. Now you can choose permissions if you want. You may or may not need to select anything in here because only authors in Central are using permissions. It doesn't apply to other seat types, subject matter experts, viewers. So if you're creating a team of authors, maybe you do want to go in here and choose, certain permissions that apply to everybody on that team. That's a quick and easy way to do it. You can also set permissions for individual users. So in their user profile, and if there are, conflicts, the team says that, well, you get these permissions, then their user profile says, well, you get these other permissions. As long as they have the permissions in one of those places, they have the permissions. So there really isn't a conflict. It's just, this is a quick way to apply permissions to lots of people, but you could give people extra permissions in their own user profiles. Maybe you are creating this team just for the purpose of allowing people to see your private output in your company. And so it's more than just authors, it's subject matter experts, and it's lots of viewers. In that case, you probably, don't need to set any permissions in here at all. And you can just leave it blank and go on to the next page. So the next page is where the users on your license are listed. And so you can go in and select, everybody, or you could go and select only some of them. It's up to you. And then, as I mentioned before, if you do happen to have your license set up with SSO and you create viewer users on demand for private output, even though you've created the team, it's set as maybe as new employees come into your company, and your IT department adds them to your identity provider, and you have all this set up with SSO, you can get new people added to your team automatically as time goes by. But that's only if you have all that stuff set up. Okay, so you choose your users. Next, optionally, you can choose different projects that could be associated with the team. And these associations, when we're saying, all right, I'm going to associate this project with the team, and I'm associating the user with the team, these associations are treated separately, because a user could be associated in their user profile with a project. So let's say that I associate this team with this project in here. If I that doesn't necessarily mean that a particular user is associated on this team is associated with that project. I would need to go into that user profile and associate them with that project. So that is a little bit of an extra step. But the good thing is, if I later decide, hey, I want to disassociate this project from this team, well, that user is still associated with the project because it was done separately in their user profile. And then you click next, and you can associate the team with different output sites. So you can set up sites in Central. So each site is a collection of information about a particular output that you want people to be able to access. And so you could associate a team with a site. And probably the main reason to do this is, once again, those private sites, so that you know that, all right, this team is associated with this private site. I'll select this one right here. And all the people that are on that team can now they can log in to see that private output. All right. And then you click next. It gives you a quick overview of everything that you've done, everything you've selected, and you click create team. It creates the team, and it immediately opens up the profile for that team. And this is just another way of going in and changing anything that you've done. So I can close out of here. And if I wanted to open that profile up again, all I need to do is just go click on my team. And there it is. So I've got my general settings in here, avatar and stuff. There's the access, the users, projects, sites. If I want to make any changes to those, click edit, and I can, add or remove sites, projects, users from the team. You can click on activity to see everything that's been done in the past. Permissions. If you change your mind about permissions, you can go in and select them here. Not only for, global permissions, but you could go into any specific projects, and you could divide up permissions according to projects too. And then, of course, you could delete your team right there. Going to click cancel out of there. The final thing that I want to mention is, in the grid, there might be times when you want to do, certain things from here. So you could click on these series of dots, and it lets you see the profile, the activities, or delete the team. And let's say that you wanted to delete multiple teams at once. Instead of going in individually into their profiles, you could use these checkboxes and click here and delete the teams at once. So that's all about teams in MadCap Central. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.